Hi everyone, welcome to this live show called Ask Me Any Stocks, guys. And I think some of you have already tuned on, all right, and you are watching this live show. This type of one, guys, type of one in the chat. If you can see and you can hear me loud and clear, you can see my screen right up here. And yes, we are live right now on YouTube and on Facebook as well, all right. So this type of one, guys, in the chat, if you are able to see and can hear me loud and clear as well. All right. Okay. Good evening. Okay. Good that some of you have already came on board. Good evening. Welcome. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being early. All right. So let's get started. One. Thanks, David. Let me just put your comments and acknowledge you for being early. Hi, Cecilia. Dave. Good to see you. Good evening. Good to see you here as well. Grace. Awesome. One. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this Facebook live show called Ask Me Any Stock. Hi, Suresh. Hi, Vivian. Good to see you as well. Okay, very good. So basically, guys, in this very live show, that's where we run it like once every few weeks or once or month as well. All right, and we will be sharing some of those stocks that you are looking at, right? Some of the stocks that you want a quick opinion on. And in today's show, we'll be talking about the Singapore market, right? Singapore market. So we'll be looking at Singapore stocks. So essentially, later we'll do a quick market outlook. All right, I'll do a quick market outlook. What has happened in the market as we begin the new year in 2024. All right, and you can let me know what are some of the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. All right, we'll do a live poll, and I will choose like the most popular stocks that a lot of people are asking on, and I'll just dive right into the analysis of these stocks, right? Share with you where we are right now. Are we looking bullish? Are there signs of weakness? Where could be selling coming back? Where are some of the key support levels and things like that, right? That's where we'll dive into the stocks that you want a quick opinion on as well, all right? And it will go on for like an hour, all right? So an hour later, that's where I will share with you one stock that I like at the end as well. So make sure you stay all the way to the end if you want me to share with you one stock that has been in my watch list, all right? And this one stock that I think you could put in your watch list as well, right? So that's after going through all the stocks that you guys want, all right? So welcome, good to see you here. And for those of you who are just joining us and scrolling through YouTube Shorts or Facebook as well, my name is Joey Choy, top here my dear trader in Phillips Securities. And in this very show, pretty much we'll be talking about some of the stocks that you guys want. We'll do a quick market outlook. So let's get started right now. All right. So how many of you want me to do a quick market outlook? Just type M in the chat. I think there should be a chat, guys, at the bottom on the right. Type M in the chat if you want me to just talk a quick one on the market. Come like share with you guys where we right now as we begin the first month. All right. I mean, come like the ended the first month into 2024, right? Time flies. It's really February, 1st of Feb 2024. Type M in the chat, guys, if you want me to just cover the market a quick one before we go on to some Singapore stocks, all right? Okay, so let's take a look. Thames, Dave, Grace, PC, awesome. Sophie, M as well. Awesome. Good to see you guys here, all right? Okay, very good. So let's take a look at the market right now, all right? And this is the Dow Jones trading at about 38,150, all right, 38,150. So what do you guys think about the trends, or I mean in terms of the market? What do you guys think about the trend right now? Are we in an uptrend or a bit of a downtrend? Just type in the chat, guys, up or down, all right, based on this year. Do you think that the market is a bit more bullish, that means type up, or you think it's a bit more bearish, type down, you think that it might head down? Up or down? Let me know, guys, in the chat before I do a quick analysis. Let me know what are your thoughts on the markets right now. All right, up. David up, Ziyong up as well. Okay, very good. So I would say that the market has been quite bullish since the end of 2023, right? In the final 2 months of 2023, we did see the markets rebounding, right? From a bottom for the Dow Jones right here, you can see that we hit it to somewhere around that 33,000 mark, tested about 2 times, all right, and found this really good support whereby we have been holding since like April. So it's a really good support level right here, rebounded somewhere in June as well, all right. So 1, 2, 3, and finally in November we saw the markets just rebounding, all right, on talks about rate cuts beginning this year. So it's a very strong rally since November. I think those of you who have been following the news, right? It's pretty much the rate cuts news, right? That is leading the market to be more bullish and fueling the markets, right? And we did see a little bit of profit taking as we began 2024, but the market started to push higher, right? And over the past few days, we are seeing a little bit of weakness, right? And what happens is that for those of you who have followed the past day, all right, news, Federal Reserve actually hinted that the rate cuts, right, that were supposed to be coming in like March, but it will be unlikely. They might want to push it back a little bit further to maybe May, June, all right, because they just want to be a bit more cautious and they do not want to cut rates so quickly, all right, because they ultimately the point about cutting rates would be to see whether inflation is still coming down, all right, and that's the whole reason about rate hikes that started about 2 years back, right? So they want to be a bit more cautious in terms of cutting rates, but eventually all of them have agreed that this year will be the year whereby rate cuts will eventually begin. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time to kind of like push back a few months, all right, but I think the market's ultimately still more bullish. So let's take a look at the Dow Jones. You can see that right here we are seeing strength in the market, right? In terms of the uptrend, right? We have turned into an uptrend since like beginning of last year in March, February. You could see that the moving averages, right? The 100 days and 200 days moving average has crossed up above one another, all right? So 100 days above the 200 days. So it's a pretty gentle uptrend, I would say, for the Dow Jones, right? And we broke one of those key levels right here, which I talked about previously as well. And that level would be that 37,000, right? This was pretty much where we were about 2 years back before the whole inflationary pressures and sell down. We broke this 37,000 and so down, all right, pretty much found a bottom and we saw some reversal coming back, all right? So that 37,000 would be a very key multi-year high level, and it seems like we have breached that level just last month. In fact, last month in December, right, breached that 37,000, and we were consolidating a little bit from like 37 to 38, and past 1-2 weeks attempted to break that 38,000, right, which we are still above right now. So I would say that the market still looks quite bullish, right? Still looks quite bullish. You can see that from the short-term moving average, the 20 days moving average, this green line right here, right? It has been sloping up since November, whereby we found the bottom, right? It's been sloping up. Right now, this green line, it is still sloping upwards. So I would say that the short-term trend looks good. Longer-term trend, I've covered that. It has been, up in an uptrend, I would say, since February last year. It is still in an uptrend, but of course, in the short term, we did see a little bit of weakness, some profit taking here and there, which is normal. But right now, the fact that we have broken this 37,000 level, attempted to break that 38,000, and this 20 days moving average line is still gradually sloping upwards. I would say that the trend is still up as well in the short term. In fact, right now, we may have another support level right here around that 38,000. So hopefully we can stay above that 38,000. That would be the immediate support level for the Dow Jones, all right? And I think we can stay above it. It still looks like a pretty bullish year ahead, all right? If we were to break that 38,000, well, that's fine as well. We may see a bit of weakness. It might come back down to this same 37,000 level, which would be a very key support level for the markets to push higher. You can see, right, 37,000 is pretty much where we were. It was a very key resistance about 2 years back right here. So just staying above that 37,000 or maybe even 38,000, that could be a good thing for the market in 2024, right? So that would be for Dow Jones, right? Let's take a look at maybe what we call the S&P 500. Just type S, guys. Type S in the chat if you want me to cover the S&P 500 as well before we look at some of the Singapore stocks. Type S in the chat, all right? And yes, I know some of you are like typing the Singapore stocks already. So not to worry, guys. Later we'll do a poll. I'll share with you guys the link as to where you can type your Singapore stocks. And that's where we'll do a live poll, all right? So not to worry, we'll come to the Singapore stocks in a bit. And that's where you guys can let me know the Singapore stocks you want a quick opinion on, right? So I pretty much just covered the Dow Jones, right? Maybe you look at the S&P 500 very quickly, and we'll dive into the stocks that you guys want, all right? Okay? Okay, so let's take a look. S. Thanks, Vivian. S, Lily, S as well. So let's take a look at what we call the S&P 500 index, right? The index that makes up the top 500 companies in the US. All right, so I've covered this a couple of times. So let's take a look at it, right? And you can see that for the S&P 500 index, it looks slightly different from the Dow Jones, right? For Dow Jones, we did not really sell off that much. I mean, compared to the S&P 500, you can see for S&P, it was a very clear downtrend since like beginning of 2022. We hit the high right over here 2 years back, 2022, and it turned into a downtrend. You can see where we had this 100 days moving average crossing down below the 200 days moving average. So very firm downtrend, I would say, most part of 2022, even into 2023. Until somewhere around March, we saw the trend reverse back up and we form what we call higher lows. So we have an upward sloping channel support line connecting the lows, forming higher lows. So the trend has kind of like reversed up, not just like last week or last month, but in fact, since March 2023, we have already seen the trend turn up, all right, and prices have really gone higher. Many of those tech stocks, the AI sector, anything to do with like AI, automation, that is pretty much the sector in play right now, and that has led the entire market, all right, the tech sector as well, all right. So you can see that over here for the S&P 500, we have turned into an uptrend. The longer term trend, all right, in terms of the moving averages are all pointing up, still red above the blue, which means the 100 days moving average is above the 200 days moving average. So longer term trend looks intact, right? But in order to push higher, right, even though it is in an uptrend, we need to actually break one of those, I would say, very key resistance level for the market to push to a new high or to find a new multi-year high, all right? And this level would be that 4,800 level. You can see right over here, that is a very key resistance level. 2 years back, we were right here. And in fact, just a few weeks back, we were actually consolidating below this 4,800 level. Can you see right over here for like about a month? We touched about 1, 2, 3 times, came back down. So we were like moving up and down from 4,007 to 4,008. And finally, all right, that level gave where we breached the multi-year high for the S&P 500 index. We breached it and went all the way to near 5,000. I think 493, 492 something, and then sellers came back. So you can see a little bit of selling yesterday because of this, rate cuts pushing back further. All right, they were expecting like maybe in March, but now, as I mentioned, they want to be a bit more cautious. The Federal Reserve wanted to take a wait and see approach to make sure that inflation is slowly coming down, and that's where they will execute on the rate cuts. And that's where the market, whenever there are talks about delaying it or pushing it further, the market reacted a little bit negatively and took this opportunity to sell off as well, which is normal because you can see that since November we have rebounded, I would say, by more than 19, almost 20% for the market. So it's normal, I would say, in fact, I would say that it will be healthy as well to see some short-term selling and it pulling back to some of those key support levels. So what would be the key support level right now for the market? Well, I would say that S&P 500 index, the 4,800 level would be key. All right, this 4,800 is pretty much where, it's an all-time high. We have broke this resistance, which would now be the support. And you can see that the 20 days moving average, the green line, it is still sloping up, right? Since November, it has been sloping up, up, up. Right now, it is still sloping up. And you can see that it kind of like coincides with where the 4,800 level is. So I think we stay above 4,008 or maybe above that 4,007 that we have consolidated in December as well. All right, it still looks quite good for the market. We may see a bit of a pullback to 4,007, 4,008, and then some bargain hunting can come back again. All right, Ken. So that is for the S&P 500 index. All right. So now that we have covered the markets, guys, how many of you want me to cover your Singapore stocks? Type SG, guys, in the chat if you want me to cover your Singapore stocks. You want a quick opinion on? Type SG in the chat before I give you guys this link. All right, whereby we will do a live poll, all right, of the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion. Type SG, guys, in chat. All right, if you want me to move on to the next part of today's live show, which will be letting me know what are the Singapore stocks that you want covered, and I'll try to cover the most popular, all right, Singapore stocks. We'll do a quick live analysis, all right, and maybe even will show you what it says on my system that I have, whether there are any like bullish or maybe even bearish signals that have came out on those stocks that you are asking about, all right. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome, all right, and welcome to this Facebook live show called Ask Me Any Stock. So I pretty much cover the markets, and right now, if you're just joining us, scrolling through Facebook or YouTube Shorts, great to see you here, all right. We are pretty much covering the stocks that you want a quick opinion on, all right, and it'll be really good if you guys can help me to like and share. I think depending on where you are logging in, it could be on YouTube or Facebook, there should be a heart-shaped like and share button. So help me to just hit the like and share button, guys, and especially you want to share it so that if you share it, it will be on your profile so you can come back to watch the replay in case you miss any parts as well. So hit the like and share button right now. All right, hit the like and share button, guys, so that we can reach out to more people, and more people we can do a live poll as well. All right. Okay, so let's do a live poll right now. Let me share with you guys over here, all right, about this poll. Okay, so we are doing a live poll right here. And okay, let me just get you guys the link to take part in this live poll on Slido. So this is the link right over here. So I've placed the link in the chat. It should be working. Let me just see. All right. Or you can simply go to Slido. All right, go to Slido, www.slido.com. You can see right over here. And the code is AMAS20. All right, AMAS20 to take part in the live poll. But I've placed the link in the chat. So maybe we can do a live poll right now, guys. What is your view on the stock market as we begin 2024? Right, go ahead and click on the link, guys, and take part in this live poll. Right here, it is live, guys. So you can see that the results are all tabulating. All right, later then we'll cover the stocks that you want a quick opinion on in terms of the Singapore market. All right, so go ahead and take part in the poll right now. All right, you can see that we have slowly people coming on board, taking part in this poll. So what is your view, guys, on the stock market as we begin 2024? Maybe after the first month in 2024, are we still bullish? Is it bearish? Let me know, guys, before we talk about Singapore stocks. All right. So let me know, guys, if the link is working. Just type a yes in chat if that Slido link is actually working and you are able to take part in the poll right here. Just type a yes in the chat, guys, if the link is working. All right, before I think it should be working, guys, because I think we are seeing some. Many of you taking part in the poll as well. So just type yes in the chat if the link is working. You can take part in the poll. We have like more than 20-30 of you already on board. Yes. Awesome. All right. So that is the link to take part in the live poll, or you can scan the QR code right here if you're on your computer. You can use your phone to scan, or you can go to www.slido.com and the code is AMAS20, like what you see right over here. So hit the like and share button, guys. For those of you who are just joining us, hit the like and share button so that we can reach out to more people before we cover those Singapore stocks you want, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this poll right now, all right, before we look at some of the Singapore stocks. And I would say that in terms of the bullishness in terms of the market, right, this I think a lot of people are saying that it's gradually turning bullish, right? So I think we have really turned bullish since last year. Now it is starting to get more bullish, right? More bullish. So 50% are saying that is still turning bullish. 21% is time to get in for a recovery phase for next year, maybe to position yourself for more upside next year. 14% bearish, get out on any rebound. So I think people are a little bit less bearish than markets right now. We are, I would say, as I mentioned just now, right, we are pretty much moving into what we call the bullish phase, and this is led by the tech sector in the US. Even in the Singapore market, we are seeing some strength in some of the tech stocks as well. All right, so yeah, we are looking at a pretty bullish market. But of course, along the way, right, before the rate cuts come in, of course, there will be some news that comes out here and there as well. They might delay the rate cuts, and all this can affect the markets, I would say, in the short term as well. We might be seeing some weakness as it consolidates, because it is healthy that way as well. With the markets were to keep on moving higher and higher and finding new high, then you want to be careful. But if we do see some consolidation, some sideways movement, like we're seeing for the S&P 500 or even the Nasdaq, whereby there's some short-term selling, that could be positive as well. That could actually give you an opportunity to get in on dips as well for some of those tech stocks or some of those growth stocks, whereby they have fallen some of those really good support levels, right? So at the end of this, I would say live show, I'll share with you guys a few stocks that I like as well. You can put them in your watch list. Okay, so let's go on right now to do a poll on the Singapore stocks that you want covered today. All right, so that is a poll. All right, let me know, guys. All right, this is a live poll, and this is pretty much, guys, where you type your stocks. All right, so yes. All right, very good. So good that the link is working. All right, let me just place the link in the chat again for those of you who want to take part in the live poll. This is the link to take part in the live poll. I've placed it in the chat. All right, so let me know, guys, what are three All right, what are 3 Singapore stocks that you want to be covered today? All right, you want to be covered today, just 3. All right, so once you click on the link, you can take part in the poll. In the poll, there will be 3 lines, right? So 1 stock, 1 line, and you click submit. All right, so just 3 stocks per person. All right, 3 stocks per person, and you can see right now, guys, that this poll is working. All right, so to take part in the live poll, guys, click on the link that I've placed in the chat. Let me know what are 3 Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. 1 stock, 1 line. Total, we have 3 stocks. All right, so type it in the chat right now. Just a few more minutes, right? 1 or 2 more minutes, right? When we see what are the most popular, maybe some of the stocks which I feel that they are pretty bullish, right? They might have more upside, and maybe you might focus on them a little bit more, right? So this is the poll. We're doing a live poll right now. Go ahead, type and go ahead to type the answer, all right? Or maybe the stocks that you want in this live poll right now. So 1 more minute. All right, so I think some of you are typing your stocks in the chat. Celia, Geo Energy, they're talking about DBS. So Celia, type it in the link, all right, so that we can take part in the live poll. Because if you type in the chat, it's actually not part of the poll. All right, so Celia, type like Genting as well into the poll, all right? And how do you join the poll? Well, I've placed the link in the chat. Click on it, and that's where you can join the poll straight away. You can type the stocks in the live poll. Does it make sense? All right. Norman as well, talking about Keppel, great company. All right. Yeah, a lot of people are asking about it. We'll cover it. But Norman, type it in the poll as well. Click on the link. Type it in the poll. Type Keppel VCOM as well. I think a lot of people like that as well. So type in the poll. Type OK, guys. Type OK in the chat if you guys are clear as to how to participate in the poll. All right. So you can see, guys, this is live. It's kind of like happening right now. It seems like Geo Energy is one of those really popular stocks that a lot of people are asking about. In fact, that's one of my stocks that came into my watch list as well. All right, come on, just 30 more seconds. Type OK once that is done. OK in the chat once that is done before we stop the poll. I think we have like more than 40 of you taking part in this live poll right now. So just 30 more seconds. All right, click on the link, take part in the poll, and we'll see what are the most popular stocks that you guys are asking about. All right. All right, so it seems like Geo Energy is the leader. All right, we have some of the Singapore banks that are pretty popular as well. All right, so a lot of people are coming to take part in this poll right now. For those of you who are just joining us, guys, we are pretty much, covering or doing a live poll on the Singapore stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on, right? Not me, but these are the stocks that you guys are asking about. I'll do my best to cover most of it, the popular ones. And at the end of it all, I'll share with you guys like maybe 1 or 2 stocks that has been in my watch list. You could put it in your watch list as well, right? So we are pretty much doing a live poll right now, all right? And let's go to stop the poll and let's see what are the winners, right? So I would say that the first one would be like a Geo Energy seems really popular. That's like number 1, clear winner. Number 2, we have like DBS as well. All right, number 3, we have UMS, and even on SIA, Singapore Airlines, pretty popular as well. We have number 5, IFAST, right? Let's just choose maybe about 6 stocks first. We have more time, we can choose more. And we have Keppel, right? So Keppel Corp has changed its name from Keppel Corp to Keppel. All right, Keppel, pretty popular as well. And number 7, we have Seatrium, right? So I've just chosen 7 stocks for now, guys. I would say that the first one would be Geo Energy, DBS, UMS. Number 3, number 4 is SIA. Number 5, IFAST. Number 6, Keppel. Number 7 will be Seatrium, all right? Seatrium. So these are pretty much, from what I gather, the most popular stocks right now. Are these stocks what you guys have type of OK, guys, in the chat if these are pretty much the stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. Pretty much, these are what you have typed right in this poll over here. Type okay, all right, if this makes sense to you regarding the live poll, all right. And these 7 stocks are what you guys are asking about. Geo Energy, DBS, UMS, SIA, IFAST, Keppel, Seatrium. All right, for now. Type okay in chat. If any of these stocks, hopefully you have like 1 or 2 that is what you're asking for. All right, but I will try my best to cover more if you have time as well. All right, okay, Iris, okay, awesome. All right, okay, good. So hopefully these are some of the stocks that you guys want. So let's go ahead right now, okay, to cover the first stock that you guys are asking about. Let me just stop the poll. All right, stop the poll. And let's go on to the very first stock, which would be Geo Energy, right? Geo Energy. Let's take a look at it right here. All right, so it seems like, yes, it came into my watch list as well. Right over here. Okay, good. So this is Geo Energy, right? Geo Energy trading at about 0.37, right? So before we talk about Geo Energy, what do you guys think about the trend, right? In terms of the trend reversal for Geo Energy, are we looking more bullish, type bull, or type bear, bull or bear? All right, for Geo Energy, are we looking more bullish or more bearish? Type in the chat, guys, bull or bear, all right? Bull or bear for Geo Energy before I dive into this stock. All right, so bull. All right, so it seems a little bit more bullish, right? In fact, this is one of the stock where I shared with VIP clients of mine in Philips Securities as well, whereby we did see some pretty good bullish price actions over the past few days. And how many of you are actually VIP clients of mine in Philips Securities? You do get some of our ideas by WhatsApp daily. All right, type C for client, guys. Type C for client. If you're actually a client of mine in Philips Securities and you do get some of my ideas by WhatsApp daily, all right, and this was actually one of the stocks that was sent out if you actually receive it. Type C for client. If you actually receive this stock called Geo Energy Resource, I think maybe we sent out like 2 or 3 days back as well. C. So a lot of you are clients. I think some of you are clients of mine as well. All right. So Geo Energy, guys, was actually one of the stocks that we covered just a few days back, and you could see that we were actually trading below this very key resistance level. All right, this level would be the 0.35 level, right? And since like 2022, we have actually been what we call a downtrend. Look at this right here. You can see that this was pretty much the high, and we formed lower high. So we formed lower high, we were kept below this resistance level at 0.35, and we went all the way down to maybe about 25 cents, 20 cents, and we found the bottom. So it was pretty much, I would say, a downtrend since like 2 years back, and we were kept below this very key 0.35, that 35 cents level. All right, and since I would say the end of 2023, we actually saw some signs of the trend reversal, whereby you can see the 20 days moving average line started to point up, crossing both the 100 days and the 200 days. And even right now, I mean, in fact, just 3 weeks back, the 100 days moving average line, all right, in terms of the longer term trend, has started to turn up as well. All this while, as I mentioned, it was a bit of a downtrend, right? Since here in 2022, 100 days red line below the blue line both pointed down. So it was a downtrend for more than a year until just last month, whereby the longer term uptrend came back into play. All right, and that was the first sign of strength. But the key here is that we still needed to get above that 35 cents resistance level, whereby we have traded below for more than a year. So it did happen. All right, we did see some really good bullish price actions, alerts were set, and we have broken, I would say, this 35 cents level. Now is 37 cents, so it is still above that 35 cents. So this 35 cents will be what we call a new support level. You can see right here. So 35 have turned from a support right over here. You can see we broke down, it became resistance, and obviously it became resistance again just last month. We have broken that resistance, and now 35 cents would be a support level. So where could the upside potentially be as long as we stay above that 35 cents level? Well, I would say that upside could be maybe all the way to the next resistance, maybe somewhere over here. That would be around that 45 cents, maybe a little bit of a temporary resistance or some selling pressure near that 40 cents psychological level as well. I think that is where we might see some selling. But I would say in terms of the upside potential targets, it could be anything from 35 cents all the way to 40 to that 45 cents. So we could try to close the gap, all right, and cover the gap that we have formed since about 2 years back, whereby upside could be all the way to around that 45 cents. So this is Geo Energy. It looks quite good, all right, from the chart. We have broken this very key resistance level, and while doing so, you can see that the trend has actually started to turn up, right? It's turned up, but we were kept below it, and finally that 35 cents resistance gave way. So there could be actually more upside as long as we stay above that 35 cents support level. So this was one of the stocks that was shared to clients of mine in Phillip Security. I think a lot of you have received this idea as well. All right. So in case, guys, you are not yet a client of mine in Phillip Securities, right, you can check out this link right over here. Let me just place the link in the chat. And so I'm not too sure where you are trading, but if you are trading online on your own, you have a trading account in some other broker, all right, and it's pretty much like DIY online. You don't have any broker, right? You don't get any service, you got no ideas, no videos, no WhatsApp, no training, nothing, nobody even contacting you. You don't even know who your broker is. It's just like a hotline or some random person picking up your phone call. All right, then you might want to come on board as a client of mine in Phillip Securities. I've just placed the link in the chat. All right, so you can join many of my clients right over here as well who are joining us live today. All right, and that's where you could get some of our ideas much faster by WhatsApp daily. All right, does it make sense? All right, so this is actually one of the stocks that was shared a few days back, just before, or just as it started to break that 35 cents level. And right now you can see that we are still seeing strength. All right, anything above 35 cents, there could potentially be more upside. So if you want to get like ideas like this much faster, you could come on board as a client of mine in Phillip Securities. It's free. All right, and by the way, you don't pay anything more. In case some of you might be thinking there's some extra charges or fees or some extra service or what. No, right? It is pretty much the same as whatever you're paying when you are trading anyway. So I'm not too sure where you're trading right now, or those who are like scrolling through Facebook or YouTube. If you are really trading, you probably have a trading account in Singapore, probably logging into your platform, but I'm not too sure whether you have a broker or any service there. So if you're not getting any service, you don't pay anything more. All right, come on board as a client of mine in Phillip Securities, and that's where me and my team will be able to send you some of those top ideas faster. You get much more, I would say, personalized service, and you can reach out by WhatsApp fast. All right, does it make sense, guys? Type a Y, yes, in the chat, guys. For those of you who understand this, all right, if you're not yet a client of mine in Phillip Securities, type Y in the chat before we move on to the next stock, all right, and that would be DBS, right? DBS. All right, yes. So good that I think some of you are clients of mine, and great to see you guys over here. Thanks for the support, Iris. All right, so those of you who are not clients of mine, all right, take note that that's where you want to come on board to get some of these ideas much faster. All right, okay. So maybe, guys, let me just cover very quickly on the system that I have for Geo Energy. So essentially, I have this software, or this what I call a 1GT system. So I'm not talk too much about the strategy or what's happening behind, but if you want to find out a little bit more, you can attend one of those free webinars that we're running maybe next week. All right, I'll just place the link in the chat. But for Geo Energy, pretty much the most popular stocks that you guys are asking about, we actually had a couple of bullish signals, right, on the system. So this, you can see right over here, I can just turn it on, and we have a couple of like bullish signals. You can see right over here, this was in August, and then September we got a bullish green arrow pointing up. So this is a bullish signal started to push up, and right now, all right, in somewhere in December, we got another bullish signal. But right now, over the past 2 days, it seems like a new bullish signal actually came out, and now we are starting to see the move again. As I mentioned, right, we broke that 35 cents resistance level. So it looks quite good, right? This is a bullish signal. So if we see like an exit, this is a white arrow pointing down. So if we see an exit somewhere near like 45 or 40 cents, that could guide us to get out as well. All right, so this is what it says on the 1GT system, whereby it alerts us on stocks like this and also guides us on entry and exit. So if you want to find out a little bit more on like how to get access to this software as well, or the framework or strategy behind this software, all right, just click on the link. I'll just place the link in the chat. All right, you can attend one of our free webinars to find out a little bit more. But this is Geo Energy, pretty much the first stock that we have covered just now, the very popular stock that all of you are asking about. And that is pretty much what it says on the 1GT system. All right, so let's move on to the second stock, which would be like DBS. Let's take a look at DBS right here. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is DBS, right? DBS, of you know, all right, right over here trading at about $31.83. So I'll say that for DBS, it has been pretty much moving sideways, all right, pretty much moving sideways since like last year. You could see that pretty much the range is from about that $31 all the way to maybe about $36, right? Look at this, right? Swing up, swing down, swing up, swing down, swing up, swing down, swing up, swing down. All right. And that is pretty much the range from 31 to 36, I would say, over the past 2 years. And you can see that in terms of the moving averages as well, from the red and the blue line, the longer term moving averages, they are pretty much moving sideways. Of course, they cross up and down one another, but overall, it has been sideways as we move in this range. So the support level would be somewhere around that $30 to 31. You can see that that was where we were somewhere in May last year. A couple of touches, a couple of rebounds in end of 2023 as well. In December, we did see prices heading to here. Buyers came back up. You see that we rebounded near maybe about 34.50, and selling pressure came back. So I think near-term resistance, if you can take note, that would be somewhere around that 34.50. Look at this right here. We touched about 1 time last year, 2 time, 3 time, all right. 4 time, we neared it as well, all right. Even just in December, we kind of approached there, and then that's where some bearish candles came back and we sold off. So that is the range right now. If I can just draw it for you, it's a little bit tighter from that, I would say, 31 all the way to maybe about that $34.50, right? So that is kind of like the range. So I think if you're looking to accumulate on dips, anything near 31 to $30, those are all levels whereby we saw a couple of rebounds since 2 years back. So those are all levels you can consider. 31, $30. Of course, I'm not too sure whether you will go back there for you to buy, but it seems like right now we are seeing a little bit of a short-term weakness with the 20 days moving average line starting to point down, right? And with prices below it. So we are seeing some signs of short-term weakness. It might slowly head down to near 31, and that could be an opportunity for you as well if you're looking to get in on dips for this bank like DBS. All right, so this is DBS right here, pretty much the second stock that you guys are asking about. So let's move on to the third stock. All right, type 3 guys in chat if you want me to move on to the third stock, the third popular stock, and that would be number 3, right? And that would be UMS, right? Type 3 in the chat, guys, if you want me to cover the third stock, the popular one, which will be UMS, right? UMS, so we have covered like Geo Energy and DBS. Now we're moving to stock number 3. Type 3 in the chat if you want me to cover number 3, and that will be UMS, all right? Okay, 333, thank you, all right? Dave 3, Sophie 3. All right, awesome. Okay, very good. So let's move on to stock number 3, and that would be UMS, right? UMS, all right. So UMS is one of those, I would say, popular tech stocks as well in the Singapore market. And you can see that in terms of the trend for UMS since like 2 years back, same thing like many of those tech stocks in the US, we have sold down as well. Since about 2 years back, we hit about 155. All right, there was a high. 2022 beginning, and you can see we broke certain support like the 140, and it sold all the way down. The trend started to turn down as well. We found a bottom around that 90 cents level. So you can see 90 cents was a very strong support whereby we rebounded about 1 time, 2 time, all right, and we staged a pretty strong rebound from 90 cents. So that was kind of like the bottom we found last year as well. Right over here as we consolidated, and we started to move higher from then. Okay, let me just draw this right over here. All right, so you can see that when we formed the bottom around that 90 cents last year, right, we touched this level about 90 cents, and we were consolidating below it. But after that, managed to actually break above the $1 psychological level. So that's a sign of strength whereby we began all right, consolidating higher, all right, above 90 cents to $1, and then we broke $1. And that's where we have been swinging up, down, right over here. And after that, we broke the 110, and we saw more upside all the way up. And so far, I would say over the past 4 or 5 months, we are moving sideways for now in the short term, right? But what about the longer term trend, right? The longer term trend for UMS, would it be up right now? What do you guys think, right? In terms of the trend, the longer term trend for UMS, is it up or down? Type in the chat, guys. What do you guys think about UMS trend? Is it up or or down right now for UMS in terms of the longer term trend? All right, so what you guys are saying is up, up, up. Lawrence up as well. All right, very good. Yeah, so I would say that the longer term trend has turned up since like September last year. You could see that right over here. I mentioned that if we were to break certain resistance level, like the $1 and the $1.10, we are actually consolidating higher. So a support has been found that went from 90 cents to $1. All right, and to maybe about 120 right now. All right, 120 right now. So the support has gone higher. So that's a sign of strength. All right, that's the first thing. And next thing would be that from the moving averages, you can see that the 100 days moving average has actually crossed up above the blue line, the 200 days moving average line. So that's a sign of strength in terms of the longer term trend. We are indeed seeing a reversal slowly happening, right? But it seems like over the past like 2 years, right? Over the past 2 years, as I mentioned, we are capped below this resistance level, all right? About that 135 to maybe about 140 if you just want to round it up to a psychological level. It was about 135. You can see that past 1 week, 140, that was where some bearish candles came out. Right over here, we got what we call a doji right around that 140. Let me just zoom it in for you guys, right? So I expected like it to break that 135, maybe stay above it, and maybe even attempting to break 140. But right over here, you can see that there's this little doji that came out right near that 140 level. And after that, you see the next few days, we started to push away from the 140. So with that happening, right, with this price action actually playing out over the past week, I would say that, you know, this 140 would likely be the resistance for now, all right, over like what we have seen is pretty much back to where we were about 2 years back. That was the support level. You can see right over here was 140 to 155. Now that we have broke this 140, you can see went all the way down. So this 140 has turned from a support to a resistance, and we got this bearish candle right here. So the range could be, I would say, anything from maybe about 125. So let's just give a little bit of leeway, because in the short term, we might just be consolidating right here from 125 to about 140. It may just swing up and down as it attempts maybe to break the 140 again. But in order for more upside to happen, or for the longer term trend to continue, right, we definitely need to break the 140 resistance level. So far, I would say that in the short term, we are seeing some profit taking. Unfortunately, it's coming back down to the same support level, 120, maybe 125. Those are all where buyers have came back over the past, like, you know, 3-4 months. You can see right over here, right over here, 120, 125. That's where some bargain hunting can come back again. We might see a rebound all the way to 140. All right, so that is where that is pretty much what is happening for UMS right now. It looks quite good in the longer term trend, but we are facing some selling, all right, near some of those resistance level, like the 140 to 135. All right, okay, Ken. So that is for UMS. Let's move on to stock number 4, right? Stock number 4, which would be SIA, right? Type of 4, guys, in the chat. If you want to move on to the 4th stock, which would be SIA. Okay, so let's move on to stock number 4, guys. SIA. All right, SIA right here. So great to have you guys. For those of you who are just joining us, we are pretty much covering some of the stocks that you guys have done a quick live poll on. And we have covered like Geo Energy, number 1. Number 2 is DBS. Number 3, UMS. And we are moving to stock number 4, which would be SIA, Singapore Airlines, right? Singapore Airlines. So let's just do a quick coverage right now. So Singapore Airlines is trading at about $6.75, right? So it was a really good bullish move, I would say, for SIA since May last year. You can see that the trend all started to turn up, right? Red above the blue, all right? And the short-term trend was turning up as well. And we broke this $6, right? It went all the way from 6 to 8 in like about a month, and selling came back, and we started to sell down, all the way back to that same $6, all right? Resistance turned support. And when it hit the $6, thankfully, that was where some support came back, all right, some buying pressure came back. In fact, we saw some bullish candlestick happening right around that $6. And since then, I would say since November, we have been forming what we call higher lows. So I can see right over here. Let me just zoom it for you. You can see that that is where we are seeing strength, whereby buyers are coming back to buy at higher prices. So each time it pushes up, it comes back down, buyers start to buy. All right, buyers start to buy. All right, so they are prepared to come back to buy at higher prices and pushing prices up. So you kind of like, you know, defending each lower level, and that's the reason why the lows are getting higher. So that's a sign of strength. Because of all these lows, we can actually draw an upward sloping channel support line connecting the low. So I think it looks quite good for SIA. We are looking at a reversal right now. I've covered this stock, I would say, about a few months back. And the key here is that while we were trading up very gently, forming higher lows, we were kept below this resistance level right here, the $6.60, right? $6.60 would be a key resistance level. We've been trading below since October. Couple of touches came down, all right, 2 times. But I think just about last week, we managed to see that break above $6.60. So now it's 6.75, which is above that $6.60. Does it make sense? All right, so 660 would now be resistance turned to a support level right here. All right, and that is where it seems like buyers are starting to come back. In fact, today, right, the low was about $6.62. All right, $6.62, and buyers came back up and started to push prices higher, and it closed somewhere around $6.75. So that is a sign of strength, whereby, you know, as they approach at 660, all right, buyers are starting to bargain hard, are starting to buy back, all right, and push prices all the way up, even above the opening price of the day. So that's where I would say 660 would now be a support level, all the way to maybe around the $7, right? $7 would be a psychological resistance level as well. That was where we broke down. You can see right over here, we broke down this $7 in August, all right, August last year, and we saw selling actually happening. So it went from 8 to 7, 7 all the way to 6, and then that's where finally we found the bottom, all right, and buyers started to defend and push it up, and a reversal is actually starting to happen, which is still ongoing for now, right? So this is SIA. I think it looks quite good. Anything above that $6.60, we are looking at a pretty good reversal, all right? And just by looking at the 20 days moving average, so in terms of the short-term trend, what we could see would be the 20 days moving average line. You can see right here, this 20 days moving average line was like pointing down, 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 right? From August all the way until November, all right? But as I mentioned, right, buyers came back up, we consolidated higher, and the 20 days moving average line started to slope up. Can you see, right? That's what we call the 20 days moving average. It kind of like represents the short-term trend. So with this line kind of like sloping up, 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 right now it is still sloping up, and prices holding above $6.60. That would give, I would say, the short-term trend much more, I would say, strength, all right, in terms of the uptrend, whereby the short-term trend looks good as well. All right, so this is SIA, pretty much stock number 4. All right, so let's move on to stock number 5, which would be IFAST, right? So for those of you who are just joining us, I've pretty much covered like 4 stocks already. I've done a quick look at the markets, and then we have covered like Geo Energy, DBS, UMS, number 4, SIA, and finally let's go on to number 5, which would be IFAST. So make sure you stay all the way to the end, because after covering all these stocks that you guys are asking about, that is where I will cover 1 or 2 stocks that has been in my watch list for a while, all right, and you could perhaps put it in your watch list as well, all right? So stay all the way to the end, and that's what I'll cover at the end as well, all right? So let's move on to IFAST right here, right? IFAST. Okay, so this is IFAST, very volatile stock, I would say. Over the past like 1 week, it seems like we have broken this $7.70. Okay, let me just show you, right? So there was some support that came out maybe somewhere around that 780, 770 right over here. You can see that was where we were consolidating since November for about 2 months. But the 20 days moving average line started to slope down, and we broke this $7.80 support level. So that's where we are seeing some weakness over the past like 3 days, down, down, down. And we might be heading towards the next support level, right? And that level will be the $7 right over here, right? So it's only like 2 days. It's only like 2 days. So I would say that the short-term trend might still be down for now, all right, even though the longer-term trend is up. So longer-term trend, guys, you could take a look at this moving average, right? So look at what we call the 100 days moving average. So since like September last year, there were already signs of the longer term trend turning up, and you can see we were consolidating from like about $5.50 to $6. We broke the $6 and started to trade all the way up from 6 to 8.50. So there's a sign of a very strong momentum right after breaking that $6. So I'm not too sure whether you can come back to like around that $6 right now, but $7 might be a near-term support, also where the 100 days moving average line is as well, right over there. You can see, right? So this is where the 100 days moving average is. And you can see that over the past 2 days, we are starting to see buyers coming out as we approach that $7, right? So the low yesterday was about 7.05. Buyers came out and pushed it all the way up as well. But today we sold down lower. So it's like 2 days. So I would say that $7 might be a temporary support level, but we don't want to rush, right? Normally what happens is that we want to kind of wait for the short-term trend to stabilize, right? To stabilize. You can see right now, as I say, right, the 20 days moving average is pointing down, right? So we might still see some short-term selling, all right? Especially with this green line pointing down right now. So it might point down, and if we continue to hold above that $7 and eventually this green line starts to flatten out or maybe starts to point up, well, that could mean that the short-term trend, has started to stabilize, and we could see the trend turning up as well. And that's where you could time your entry to maybe get in to ride it all the way up to like $8 to $8.50. That could be the upside. All right. So this is IFAST. I would say that longer-term trend definitely looking at a good uptrend, all right, forming, but in the short term, unfortunately, because we broke like the $7.80 support level, there might be some weakness in the short term. It's only 2 days, so we need a little bit more days to tell. We need the short-term trend indicator like the 20 days moving average to maybe flatten out first. All right, and that's where we could see if the short-term trend actually stop pointing down. All right, does it make sense? All right, so that is for IFAST, right? Pretty much that's stock number 5. All right, so let's move on to stock number 6, which would be Keppel. All right, Keppel, 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 right? So Keppel Corp has changed its name to Keppel, and this is, I would say, Keppel right here, one of the stocks that we like as well. Very strong uptrend, and let's take a look at where we are right now. All right. Okay, so this is Keppel, all right, Keppel. The code is BN4, and one of those popular, I would say, oil and gas energy plays in the Singapore market, something like Sembcorp Marine, Sembcorp Industry, or Seatrium, right? One of those stocks. In fact, Seatrium would be the next stock, but let's take a look at Keppel first. Okay, so this is Keppel at about $7.15, and I would say that Keppel Corp or Keppel, right, in fact, has been in a pretty stable uptrend since last year. All right, just look at what we call the longer-term moving average, right? The 100 days moving average, red and the blue line, they are both sloping up, red above the blue, so very gentle uptrend, right? Of course, in the short term, we did see some selling happening from around August. It sold from like 7.30 all the way down to $6, right? So $6 was that very key support level. You could see right over here, right? $6 since May last year. We have rebounded like 1, 2. We saw a very good bullish candle right here. Can you see right over here? This is what we call something like a doji right at that $6 mark. And after this doji right at $6, also where the 200 days moving average line is, you can see that was where the reversal actually happened. So that's what we look for as well in terms of some bullish candles happening near the support, especially if the longer term trend is up. All right. So you can see right over here, we started to see that rebound. It consolidated below that 650 for a while, broke 650. Eventually, that $6.80 level gave way as well. You can see right now, seems like 680 would be the support level. All right, 680 would be the support level. So let me just quickly draw some upside targets. I think upside could be anything from 680 all the way to $7.30, right? And you can see that right now, the 20 days moving average, right, since breaking that 650, all right, in November, this 20 years moving average line was pointing up. Look at this, right? It was pointing up. And over the past like 1 week, it is slightly sideways. It is slightly sideways. You can see, right? It's kind of like sideways, maybe pointing up over the past few days, right? So I would say in the short term, we might be a little bit more sideways to up for now, all right, as we consolidate in this range, right? 680 to about $7.30. So let's take note of this very key level, the $7.30. That was pretty much where we were in August. I think if we can break the 730, right? $7.30 upside targets can be revised, maybe all the way to $8. That could be the next upside targets, right? Whereby the uptrend can continue further as well. So Keppel Corp is definitely one of those stocks that we like as well. Very strong uptrend. In the short term, we are looking at some consolidation, but you can see each time it consolidates, it actually attempts to break the resistance and push even higher. So that's what we call a healthy uptrend. All right, if we were to consolidate here, swing up, swing down, swing up, maybe you might see a bit of profit taking, and eventually, pump, all right, it breaks that $7.30 and it starts to push to a higher consolidation phase. That is where the uptrend can continue to a higher phase. All right, so that is pretty much stock number 6. That would be Keppel, right? So let's move on to stock number 7, right? 7, and that would be Seatrium, right? So let me just go to see the live poll as well. All right, so let me just share with you guys the poll results. So for those of you who are just joining us, we have pretty much covered, we have done a poll, right? Pretty much the top Singapore stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. And we have covered like Geo Energy, SIA, UMS, Keppel, DBS, IFAST as well, Keppel, and now we are going on to the 7th stock, and that would be Seatrium, right? Seatrium looks like one of those stocks that a lot of people are asking about. So let's move on to Seatrium, which was previously Sembcorp Marine. All right, so let's take a look at it right now. Okay, so this is Seatrium, right? Seatrium stock code is S51, right? S51, and we are trading at about 10 cents right now. So I would say that we are back to this very critical support level, right, for Seatrium, and this level is none other than the 10 cents level. Let me just draw this support right here. So you can see that since almost 2 years back, we have touched this 10 cents level. You can see 1 time, 2 time, 3, 4, and now we are back here at the 10 cents level. So you can see like about 4 or 5 times over the past 2 years. It seems like, you know, we have seen a couple of rebounds from this level. All right, so that is a very good support level. Later I'll talk about where we are right now, and you know, should we just think about buying because we have headed to this support level? I mean, the fact that it has rebounded like 4 or 5 times, should we just buy right now because it might rebound the 6th time or the 7th time? Does that make sense? I think that's pretty much the question that most of you have, right? So I'll come to that in a bit, but let me just go to point out some of those key levels as well, whereby we saw a couple of selling pressure, all right, resistance, I would say. So right over here, you can see that these are what we call very key resistance. We broke above it, all right? That would be the 12 cents right over here. Support, turn resistance, right? You can see where we headed up to that 12, and now we are back down again. So the range right now would be from 10 cents to 12 cents. So if I can draw another resistance level right here, that would be slightly higher, around that 15 cents level. You can see 1 time, 2 time, and 3, 4, right? So just by drawing what we call the horizontal support and resistance line, all right, it gives us an idea of where we are right now. Are we kind of like near the support level? Are we near a resistance whereby sellers are coming back? Or are we in the middle of the support and resistance? Does it make sense? So it gives us an idea of where we are right now. And if we were to even rebound back up, where can we potentially rebound to? Is it like all the way up? Is it just up a little bit? Is it up to the next resistance level? What is the potential upside targets, right? Okay, so that is pretty much what I've drawn. So let's take a look at Seatrium right now to see that if it is a good time to buy, all right? Okay, so you can see Seatrium, as I mentioned, we touched about 4 or 5 times near this support at the 10 cents level right over here. So that would be what we call a hot zone, all right, in terms of buying pressure. Right, that could be a hot zone whereby some buying positions could actually take place, right, near that 10 cents level. So today, I think it closed at about 0.1 let me see, right? So about 0.1, right? About 10 cents. It closed at about 10 cents. So it's right at this support level, all right? And it's only like 1 day, all right? So the question is, should we think about buying right now? Well, what happens is that when we think about buying, right, what we could do is to look at what we call the trend reversal from the support level, or are there any signs of bullishness coming in as we approach the support? So it doesn't mean that it has rebounded like 5 times and the 6th time it hits to that support level, it will surely rebound, and then that's where you just close your eye and buy, because it will surely rebound. I mean, it's rebounded like 5 times, right? Not necessarily, because we might actually break the support and push lower, right? But at least we know that that is a support level. So what could we be looking out for, whereby it could give us a higher probability of that rebound? Well, there are a few things we can look out for, and that would be what we call some bullish candles, right? A bullish candles appearing right at the support. So we could see something like a bullish engulfing bar, like maybe you can see right over here, there were some bullish candles that came out near the support level. If you see something like a hammer or like a candle with what we call a long lower shadow, see something like a doji, you can see happening right here at the support level as well. All right, those are all what we call reversal candles, whereby it could lead the reversal, all right, bullish candlestick. So that's what we could look out for near a support level. The next thing we could look out for is that if there are actually any signs of the trend turning up, right, in terms of the shorter term trend. So you can see that in the previous cases for Seatrium, right, when we headed all the way down, so we broke that 12 cents level, we headed to 10 cents. And you can see that this green line, remember the green line would be what we call the 20 days moving average. It's a short-term trend, right? It represents a short-term trend. So if it's like pointing down, you see, right, it's like pointing down, 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 all the way down, then the trend is pretty much down. So even if it hits to this support level, and like right over here, you can see that the trend was still pointing down, right? So we wouldn't want to think about buying, because the short-term trend is still down. We could actually break the 10 cent support level, but only when the 20 days moving average, so this green line, starts to flatten out and maybe starts to point up right over here. Can you see right over here, right? So the green line starts to point up. We have been holding above that support level. That could be a sign of the short-term trend turning up. You see right over here, and we started to see that gradual rebound with the 20 days moving average gradually pointing up, and it went all the way up to 15 cents. Does it make sense, right? So that's what you could look out for as well. You can see same thing here. The 20 days moving average line was pointing down, down, down. Previously in December, we headed to this support level. It started to flatten out, point up, and we saw that rebound happening. So right now, right, you can see that this same 20 days moving average line, you can see this 20 days moving average line, it is still pointing down, right? It's still pointing down, right? So prices are still below it. We are back to the same 10 cents level. So I think that, in the next few days, 1 week or next 2 weeks, if we still hold above that 10 cents level, great, right? That's where this green line might start to point down slightly, might start to flatten out, and eventually starts to point up. And that is where it could lead that reversal, whereby you could time your entry to get in to catch the reversal, whereby the shorter term trend has also started to turn up. Does it make sense, guys? Type MS in the chat if that makes sense to you, into how you could actually time your entry to catch the reversal, and not just buy a stock just because it hits to the support level and yes, rebounded many times. It should rebound this time. All right, type MS if that makes sense to you regarding what we can look out for in terms of a reversal from a support level. Type MS. All right, so that is for, I would say, Seatrium. That is for Seatrium, pretty much stock number 7, right? Stock number 7. So it's almost like 1 hour. It's almost 1 hour. So I've pretty much covered like 7 stocks already. So we have covered, let me just choose maybe one more stock. Okay, let me just see one more stock whereby we can cover before I share with you guys maybe 1 or 2 stocks that I like, that has been in my watch list. You could put it in your watch list as well, right? So let me just take a look and choose maybe one more popular stock. So that is the live poll that we have done. So we've covered like quite a few. So maybe we can cover like Genting, right? Genting Singapore seems like one that is very popular as well. G-E-N-G, Genting Singapore, some people might call it. All right, let's take a look at Genting Singapore. Okay, so this is Genting Singapore right here at about $1.02. So one of the stocks that have been in my watch list as well. I would say since November, we saw a pretty good reversal. Right over here, we found a bottom below that 85 cents. It was like kind of like moving swing up and down. Let me just show you right over here, right? So it was like swinging up and down below that 85 cents. You can see it swing up, swing down. Oops, let me just put this as black in color. Right up here, right? Swing up, swing down. So below that 85 cents, and finally we broke 85 cents, right? So that's a sign of strength because we have gone from a lower consolidation phase to a higher consolidation phase. So all this while you can see that for Genting Sing, since hitting a high around here at about 120 in April last year, we have traded lower, all right, traded lower, consolidated, break support, and traded lower. So it's just going lower and lower, consolidating lower until finally, right, that lower consolidation actually ended and we found what we call a higher consolidation, right, above 85 cents. So that's where we kind of like covered it. I caught for this stock around then, right? Somewhere around November, we broke above 85 cents. And of course, when that happens, you can see that the 20 days moving average line started to slope up. So the short-term trend started to turn up as well, all right? And we saw the reversal maybe all the way to 90 cents. There was a bit of a resistance. And finally, that gave way as well. We broke 90 cents, started to push higher. All right, so let's take a look at where we are right now for Genting Sing. I would say that over the past like 1 month, it seems like a higher support level has formed as well. So you can see that is the range. We have been swinging up and down, consolidating, pump, consolidating, pump, consolidating, and now pump. All right, and we are consolidating right over here. I would say from that 90, okay, let's just draw it. I think somewhere around that 95 to 96 cents, we are seeing some decent support coming back from 95 to 96, like what we've seen over the past 1 month. So that is kind of like the support level right now. I think if we can stay above that 95, 96, 97, that's where some buying pressure is coming back. And we are seeing a bit of resistance right here, all right? It seems like that is where we saw a couple of bearish candles, right? That's a resistance level. You can see that a candle with a long upper shadow whereby sellers came back and pushed prices all the way down. All right, so that is what we call a bearish candle, and it happens with the high at about 1.03. All right, so 102, 103, that seems like a resistance level for now. Same thing, I think pretty much back to where we were as well in May last year. A little bit of resistance there. So I think that the range is like about 95, 96 to 103. And if that levels gives way, all right, maybe all the way to around that $1.10. All right, so this is Genting Sing. I think it looks quite good. All right, just that in the short term, we might just be consolidating. But if we do see some really good bullish price action above 103, 104, 105, I think it could move up to the next phase like what it has done. Right, we have shifted from a lower phase to another phase, to a higher phase, to a higher phase, and potentially we might move to the next higher phase as well. All right, so that is pretty much stock number 8, right? Genting Singapore, right? Genting Singapore, the stock that you guys are asking about as well, Genting Singapore, right? So I think the JC, you're asking about DBS. So we have covered DBS. In fact, DBS is stock number 2, all right? So let me just cover or do a recap of all the 8 stocks that I've covered today, right? The 8 Singapore stocks that you guys actually asked about, all right? And the first one will be Geo Energy, the stock that's not too bad, all right? So if you missed this, any of the stocks, guys, you can watch the replay, all right? The replay will be on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel as well. You can watch it. Come back if you miss any parts. So the first one would be like Geo Energy. Second one, DBS. Number 3, UMS. Number 4, SIA. Number 5, IFAST. Number 6, Keppel. Like that stock as well. Not too bad, right? Number 7 would be Seatrium. We talk about the 10 cent support level whereby you want to take note of as well. I think those are pretty good support level, but let's see if you can stabilize them. If there are some signs of the trend turning up near that support level as well. All right, and that's number 7, Seatrium. And we have finally number 8, that would be Genting Singapore. Looks quite good. The reversal looks on track. I think as long as we stay above like 95 to 96, we might be slowly, gathering strength, accumulating, and consolidating a little bit more before attempting to push higher and breaking the 1.03. All right, so that is Genting Singapore. So how many of you want me to share with you like some top stocks, all right, that you could put in your watch list as well over the next 1 or 2 weeks? All right, type T for top, guys. I want to see a lot of you, maybe more than 50 of you typing T. If you want me to share with you some of the top stocks that are in our watch list, whereby we had a couple of bullish signal as well, and perhaps you could watch this stock as well. Type T for top if you want me to share with you some top stocks, all right? All right, T. Thanks, Kahin T, Johnny T, Jenny T. Awesome. So a lot of you want to have like T for top stocks, right? Reviewed. So let me just share with you guys maybe like one stock which has been in my watch list, I would say, over the past few weeks as well. In fact, this was one of the stocks that we shared to clients of ours as well. So some of you who are clients of mine in Phillips Securities, you might have seen this in our WhatsApp broadcast. So let me just share with you guys what this stock is. But as I mentioned, right, for those of you who are actually not a client of mine in Phillips Securities, you're just like scrolling through Facebook and YouTube and you are joining us right now and you are trading in the stock market. You probably have a trading account somewhere and you log into your trading account. And if you don't get any service at all from your broker, all right, I mean like a real person like me, all right, I mean like a real person or real team, and you don't get any service, you don't get anyone contacting you, you don't get any ideas by WhatsApp, some training videos, some ideas daily and all that, make sure you want to come on board as a client of mine, because that's where we do share some of those top ideas by WhatsApp daily. So I think some of you are like privately messaging me, how do you become a client? Is it free and all that? Yes, it's free. You do not pay anything more. I think a lot of you are clients of mine in Phillips Securities. You do have a trading account under me. So I've placed the link in the chat, guys. So essentially, you just have a trading account under me, like a normal trading account that you have. So you do not pay anything more. It's pretty much the same as whatever you're paying when you're trading, right? It's the same, all right? But I'm not too sure whether you are getting any service at all. So that is the link. If you're not getting any service, no ideas, no videos, no one even contacting you, you have no idea who your broker is just a hotline or something, come on board as a client of mine, and that's where you do get some of those services much faster, and more importantly, some of our top ideas. All right, so I'm sharing with you guys this stock that have came into my watch list, and we actually alerted clients to it as well. All right, and this stock will be what we call Food Empire, right? Food Empire, right over here at about $1.35, right? How many of you are actually clients of mine in Phillips Securities and you actually got alerted to this stock, Food Empire? Type F for food. Type F for Food Empire, guys. If you are a client of mine in Phillips Securities and you actually saw this idea that we sent out, I think like about 1 or 2 weeks back, type F for Food Empire. All right. Daniel, no. So reach out, Daniel. All right. I'm not too sure whether you are in our WhatsApp broadcast yet, but if you are in our WhatsApp broadcast, that's where you need to save my team's number and you will be receiving. So I think a lot of you, like you can see Daniel, like Jasmine, Julie, yes, FFF. So I think you have received this Food Empire, Lily, Food Empire as well. Great. So I think a lot of you are clients of mine. Great. You're probably receiving this idea or many of those ideas, by WhatsApp daily. I'm glad. Hopefully you guys found it useful, right? But let me take a look at Food Empire right now as to why. Daniel, so reach out. All right, just WhatsApp my team. You need to save my team's number, Daniel. I'm not too sure whether you have done it, but save my team's number. And that's where you will receive our ideas by WhatsApp daily. All right, so just reply the WhatsApp. My team will check and get back to you. All right. Okay, for those of you who are not a client, as I say, the link is right there. Click on it to apply to come aboard as a client of mine in Phillips Securities to get our ideas much faster by WhatsApp daily and some of top trading videos as well. All right. Okay, so Food Empire trading at about $1.35, right? So you can see that for Food Empire, it has been in a pretty decent uptrend since last year. In fact, at the beginning of last year, we had the moving averages all turning up, all right? And we formed an uptrend with the red above the blue. And over the past like 6 months, we formed what we call another more tighter uptrend with higher lows. You can see right over here, I've drawn an upward sloping channel support line connecting below. So it was pretty much like, moving up gradually, higher lows, and each time it sells down, buyers came back and pushed it even higher. And the key here was that as we push higher, we were actually facing some very heavy resistance at this key level. All right, I talk about this level many times, and that level would be the $1.20. Look at this right here. So about 118, 119, 120. We can round it up to $1.20. That would be a psychological level whereby buyers came back and pushed it up, but we will still kept below 120. We just couldn't get above it, right? For like 6-7 months, we were below it. Of course, we have some alerts set and just when it happened, when it broke that 120 level, volume was pretty strong as well. That's one thing that we look at as well. Volume pretty strong. And we saw buyers just coming up and taking up the entire seller. So it started to push up from like 120 all the way to about 140. We expected a little bit of, I would say, profit taking. All right, you see that the range would be around, based on how it has consolidated, right? It's about 15 cents to 20 cents. So that is kind of like the upside targets, maybe to like 140, 135. And it seems like right now we are seeing some profit taking around the 140 level. All right, so you can see right over here, 140, it seems like sellers are starting to come back up, right? So if you have got in here, I would say stop loss could have been maybe just below 120, all right, just to protect in case it will come back down below 120, but obviously it did not come back down, right? 120 would be a new support level, and it has pushed higher, in fact, pushed away from this 120 support level. So what it could do is to raise our stop loss level. I mean, now that support have came in maybe higher at $1.30, we could raise our stop loss level maybe higher to see if we can push and break the 140 to push higher. So that is one of the strategies. I mean, in terms of, protecting our profits, we could raise our stop loss, and if it pushes higher and break 140, we could raise our stop loss again and let it trail and push higher, and we protect our profits as it goes higher, right? So what is kind of like the outlook for Food Empire right now? Well, you can see that I talk about the 20 days moving average, and when it broke the 120, right, you could see that the 20 days moving average started to slope up. And right now, obviously, it is still sloping up, right? So there is still a lot of buying momentum on dips, maybe to near 125 to 130. So if you're looking to get in, I mean, I'm not too sure whether it will dip to 125 or 120 for you to buy, but you can see that over the past week, more than a week, as it pushed up to 140, buyers are starting to come back on dips near it used to be 120, but I think now maybe 125 to 130. I think buyers are starting to come back already, right, all the way up. So there could be a potential break of 140. I think if that happens, upside targets could be revised higher, right, maybe all the way to that $1.60. So that is one of the stocks whereby we stage a pretty good breakout move, right? This is what we call an ascending triangle breakout, a very key horizontal price resistance we couldn't get above for 7-8 months. But while kept below that resistance, we form higher lows whereby buyers are just coming back to push prices towards that resistance. And finally, one fine day, last week, that gave way. We took out the entire seller, and there was just much more momentum that came in fast. All right, so that would be Food Empire, one of those stocks that have came to our watch list over the past 1 or 2 weeks. And I think that there could still be more strength. We might even attempt to break the 140. If that happens, that's where upside targets can be revised even higher. All right, so that is pretty much the stock that have came into my watch list. All right. And you could watch this stock as well, right? So how about if you want me to review like maybe just one more stock, all right? Type a two guys in the chat if you want me to review one more stock that perhaps you could put in your watch list for potentially more upside as well. Type a 2 in the chat. All right, 2. Thanks, Karen. 2, Grace. 2, Cheryl. 2, awesome. All right, let's go. All right, so let's go to stock number 2. All right, so how many of you felt that the first stock that I shared with you is pretty interesting? All right, you got some value so far, guys, out of this entire session. You got some value out of this stock that I shared. Type a V, guys, in the chat if you have found some value so far. In fact, if I have like gone through the Singapore stock that you were asking about, type a V, guys, in the chat. Hopefully, it's one of those stocks that you were asking on, right? Type V, guys, you have got value out of this very live show so fast. Is nothing for sale here, all right? Just pretty much to add value to you guys, all right? And to share my thoughts, my analysis on the stocks that you want a quick opinion on. And of course, just share with you some top stocks that you could watch as well at the end. All right, so V. Awesome. Thanks, V. Okay, thanks, Dave, Chili, V. Awesome, Jeff, V. Awesome, thank you so much. Right, so let's move on to the second stock, guys, that you could put in your watch list as well. And that could be, I would say, 𝐒𝐿𝐤, Yang Zhejiang Shipbuilding. All right, one of the stocks that we like as well, it has formed what we call a bottom, right? We saw selling somewhere around like October, November. You can see right over here, very gentle uptrend in the longer term. We look at the longer term moving average, but we were actually consolidating right over here from 140 to 155 as it swings up and down. And, you know, I caught for this stock when it was around October. I think some of my clients probably received the idea from by WhatsApp as well. All right. And 140 was a very strong support because you see that, as I mentioned, right, as we hit to a support level, there are a few things that we want to look out for, and not just buy because it hits there, it should rebound because it is a support. No, right? We want to, you know, it's good that we have kind of like draw a support line based on past prices, whereby, well, that could be a level whereby we might see some bargain hunting, and that could be a good support. But if we were to see certain indication of some bullish candles coming out, or you know, some signs of the trend turning up from there, well, that could give more confirmation of the rebound from there. And that's what we saw, right? Somewhere around 140, you could see that there were some bullish candlesticks that came out over here, all right? Long lower shadow, another bullish candles that came out over here as well. And the 20 days moving average, the short-term trend started to turn up as well. And eventually we broke this support, right? Look at this support turn resistance at 155, and that level gave way as well at 155. So it seems like we are making our way slowly up to this resistance level, maybe about $1.80. That is our initial target from here all the way up to 180 is about 14%. So it seems like we are approaching gradually near the 180. That's where some selling can happen. But the key here is that what if we were to break? So we are more like looking after that, right? If we were to consolidate below 180, perfect. If we can see some profit taking there, we can see some consolidation, that would be healthy, in fact, all right, rather than just breaking and pushing higher very quickly. Normally what we want to see is that we want to see some, you know, selling happening near resistance, and, you know, a bit of sideways movement for a few days, one or 2 weeks before attempting to push higher. I think that would be a much more healthy uptrend. All right, so for 𝐒𝐐𝐤𝐥𝐻𝐸, one of those stocks that we like, slowly it might gradually push towards the 180 target. If that gives way, and that's what we are looking at, pretty much upside targets could be revised maybe all the way to $2, right? And that is, we might kind of like revise our targets higher, whereby the trend, not just in the longer term is up, right, but in the shorter term, that can continue pointing up as well as we see more upside. All right, so that is pretty much the second stock I'll share with you guys. All right, thank you for staying all the way to the end. All right, and that would be YZJ Shipbuilding, 𝐻𝐸𝐤 Shipbuilding, and the other bonus stock, the first one will be Food Empire, the second one will be YZJ Shipbuilding. All right. Okay, good. So that is pretty much the end of this live show called Ask Me Any Stocks, guys. We have pretty much covered like 8 stocks. We have done a quick market outlook on the Dow Jones, on the S&P 500. I've covered like 8 stocks that you guys were asking about. And I've reviewed not 1, but 2 bonus stock at the end for those of you who stay all the way to the end. So I hope you have got some value, all right, out of this very session. But from what I see here, a lot of V value. Thank you so much, guys, for staying all the way here. All right, and if you want to find out, guys, a little bit more in terms of like the strategy behind, or maybe how we have a system to guide us on entry and exit, right? So for example, right, this is like Food Empire, as I mentioned just now, one of those stocks that we like, Food Empire. We have a software or system to alert us on stocks like this. All right, so this Food Empire, you can see that with a click of a button, we have these bullish signals coming out since like end of November 2022, right? Started to push up. We got resistance here, but as we were facing this resistance, you can see that we had bullish signals coming out, and it's just pushed higher and higher until finally, as I mentioned, guys, we broke the 120. We got another bullish signal right here. Look at this green arrow pointing up. As it broke 120, obviously right now it has pushed higher. There are no exits, right? So you can kind of like guide us if we do see like an exit signal somewhere near 140, 150, 160, it could guide us to get out as well, right? So this is what we call a software that I have called 1GT, which pretty much is a short form for one good trend. All right, pretty much you just need one good trend to really maximize your profits and ride it thoroughly, right? So one good trend is the name of the strategy. If you want to find out a little bit more on the system and the framework of the strategy behind it, you can attend one of those free web class that I'm still running. I'll just place the link, guys, in the chat. You can attend one of those free webinar, all right? And that's where you could learn a little bit more. So today's live show is not so much about the strategy and all that stuff, right? It's just diving right into the stocks and giving you 2 bonus stocks at the end, or I tell you what to do. But if you want to find out a bit more on the entire framework, you can attend one of those free webinar, right? The link is right there. I've placed it in the chat. Okay, click on it. All right. Okay, so that is pretty much the link to join. All right, let's take a look at maybe 𝐿𝐿𝐤𝐿. I think we mentioned about 𝐒𝐐𝐍𝐤 shipbuilding. So you can type the name of any stocks you see for 𝐒𝐿𝐤𝐤 as well. I mentioned that we had a call for it, right? As we was consolidating below 155. You can see right over here. We got another bullish signal somewhere in 2nd of Jan, pretty much the beginning of the year. A bullish signal came out and just pop all the way up to where we are right now. So there are no exits. We may push towards maybe, as I mentioned, about 180 or so. We might see an exit signal. It could guide us to get out as well. All right, so this is what it says on my 1GT system, more like a software. All right, so that's it, guys. All right, we have pretty much come to the end of this live show. Thank you so much for just being here. All right, and I hope that you guys have taken away something. All right, if you have missed any parts, you can go to watch the replay as well. All right, I look forward to see you in one of those webinars. All right, whereby I share with you a bit more on the strategy or how you can have access to this system as well. All right, so thank you so much for your time. All right, happy Chinese New Year, 恭喜发财，新年快乐，身体健康。All right, all the best to you. A What Dragon Year to all of you guys. I'll see you guys in the next Facebook live session as well. All right, make sure you like this page, or like the Facebook page of my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it so that when we go live, you will not miss out as well. So Joey here. Have a great Chinese New Year, your family. I'll see you soon. Take care. If you're not yet a client, as I say, click on the link in the chat. Come on board, and that's where you do get some of our ideas much faster as well. All right, so that's the last time I place the link over there. I'll see you guys. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.